The 14th day of June 2024, day one of the summer transfer window. Chelsea are taking an early lead, but I tell you what, Man United is not way off the pace as we are already in advanced talks to sign our first player of this Inos transfer window. My name is Webb. Like, share, subscribe as we do get proper into the transfer tracker with me, myself, and I. I do hope you're ready for it. Share this video because the next couple of months, 2.5 months to be precise, are going to be fire or hotter than the sun, I must say. Now, let's get into it. Now, we know that Man United has already agreed personal terms with Jarrad Branthwaite, a player who we've been monitoring from way back. He's an Everton player, certainly one of their most sellable assets now, from agreeing about 150,000 to £160,000 per week for him. With these representatives, United have moved on now to talk to the club Crystal Palace. Their valuation of the player was £70 million. They should be able to get down to anything less than 45. That's what I believe. Ineos are moving now. The centre-back department is not done. Ineos are still looking at two other centre-backs. We are looking at Yoro, the youngster from Lille, and Jean-Clair Todibo. Now, question is, of these two, who should Manchester United bring in? That is where I'm here to ask you. Pick your mind on it. Drop down in the comment sections. But here is the thing. He spent the most of the last night looking and watching videos of all the three centre backs. Critically, I spent time on all of them. And first of all, it's a bit of a surprise that we went for Jarrad Branthwaite first of all of them, because if you ask me, in terms of the three, Jarrad Branthwaite is below the other two in terms of order. I would go to Todibo first, then Yoro, and Jarrad Branthwaite as the third. But here's why I think we went for Jarrad Branthwaite first. First of all, he's an English player. I think you certainly need a certain number of English players in your team. These are the rules of the Premier League. I think that is one, because he's an English player. He has been tested in the Premier League. You want to risk with a player who has been tested in the Premier League, but also to be able to beat the regulations of how many homegrown players you need to have in the team. That is one for me, I believe. Second, he's not a bad player. He's a left-footed player, so meaning he's never going to be playing unless conditions are so bad and tight. But I don't see him starting in the same team with Lisandro Martinez. Either Lisandro Martinez or him starting under normal circumstances. So meaning we definitely have got to sign another centre-back, a right-footed centre-back, because Erik ten Hag wants to play naturally footed players in naturally inclined positions. I mean, a left-footed player on the left-hand side, a right-footed player on the right-hand side, especially in the back line. He inverts. He loves to invert. The wingers, like the modern game is, but not the centre back. So I think Branthwaite is brought in as a competitor for Lisandro Martinez. If you ask me if Martinez is fit, there is no competition between the two. I think Martinez is way better than Jarrad Branthwaite. He's good with long passes. I think that's one thing about him. He's physical. He's a huge guy, nearly the size of Harry Maguire. But in terms of his game, I think Lisandro Martinez is way better a left-footed centre-back than he is. That's without a shadow of a doubt. That's why Martinez, no wonder, is a World Cup winner. So Martinez will still remain our first choice left-footed centre-back. But also his injury issues are not things we want to keep going back and forth about, because before Lisandro Martinez was the only left-footed centre-back United had. Now, if he gets injured, Erik ten Hag will have then to again try to gamble with Maguire on the left. Before he had Rafael Varane on the left or Kambwala. So he's saying, give me two players per position. So I think for me, that was a good signing that was made, sorted from the back. Erik ten Hag loves teams that play from the back. His teams love to play from the back. So that's understandable. Now, when it goes to the right hand of the central defense, I mean, people will still debate about the wages. I mean, the reports say he's going to earn between 150 to 160,000 pounds per week. You're thinking, if we are cutting down on the wage bill, this is a player from Everton. Isn't that way too much money for a player who is not even going to be a starter? By the way, that's more money than Lisandro Martinez is earning. I think Martinez is earning, I think, about 120,000 pounds. So it's a but it shows that he's brought in as a key player to be competing at the level of Lisandro Martinez, giving him serious competition, because we don't sign you for that amount of money, nearly £40 million or thereabout, paying you that amount of money per week, and you're just there sitting on the bench not playing. So I think it's to push him to get the best out of him. Understandable. Now, looking at the right-hand side, Yoro and Jean-Clair Todibo. We can get both. I think if we had the finances, which we probably have, because given the players we're looking at, there's no way Inos will be going into the market and talking to all these players and inquiring about them. Michael Olise, Yoro, this Todibo, Joao Neves, all these players will be linked with a striker. We wouldn't be going into conversations for them if we did not have the money to spend. So probably Ineos have figured out how they're going to get the money. Now, if the money is there, we can sign the three of them, because then Lenny Yoro would certainly be a little bit behind. It's one more for the future. Or again, another part of the rotation. Like you see, you had Victor Lindelof there lurking around because he's only 18. He has got a lot of time for himself to grow with the Kobes and the Hoylands of the world, to grow into one of the main guys, the mainstays in the team later. But Todibo for me is the first priority in terms of the thing about Todibo is that he fits well into the way Erik ten Hag wants to play from the back. Todibo is a good ball player. He's a good ball passer. No wonder he was at Barcelona. That's how he has elements of Gerard Piqué, but a more physical Gerard Piqué. So the thing about him is that is the kind of player you need playing next to Lisandro Martinez, who is a very beautiful ball passer. So have your Todibo on the right, another very beautiful ball passer, and I think we've got a good balanced central defense to execute the style that Erik ten Hag loves to play. But also, the advantage with Todibo is that he can play right back. So it's even probable that at the back of the minds of Erik ten Hag and Ineos, they are looking at signing Todibo as a right back, then bring Yoro as a centre back. So Todibo is giving more competition to Diogo Dalot, because there are so many of you who are not even extremely convinced by Diogo Dalot as the starting right back. So Todibo gives us two options, but he's also an out and out starter. So I think the first centre back pairing, I think, still remains Sandro Martinez and Todibo, who we can get for about 30 or 35 million pounds. That's money we should be able to raise. Now with Yoro, the issue with Yoro is he's a little too expensive because he's valued at about 50 million pounds. Of course, he's 18. He's wanted by Liverpool, Real Madrid, who are believed to be, I think, ahead of the rest of Liverpool and Man United in the chase for him. But I mean, 50 million pounds is way too much in this point in time. So that's why I say for me, whereas it might be painful to lose out on a talent like Lenny Yoro, he himself wants Real Madrid. He would prefer Real Madrid. If they agree on the money with Lille, he would go there. So I think if we are to sign one of the two, because already Branthwaite seems to be a done case, nearly. It's not a here we go yet, but nearly. I think for me, it has got to be Todibo first as the first priority. If we get those two, I think, regardless of how many centre backs we let go of, I think it will still be good progress made in terms of the central defense. Then we can move on now to the central midfield, the other positions that we need to sort. So this is where we are. But of course, the window is just starting today. We will be linked with so many other players. Certainly, we do need to to look around, look at the pool, and see which players want to sign. But the idea for Ineos is to get early down with business early, get signing players so fast, so that Erik ten Hag has got enough time with all these players. You saw the issue we had in the last summer when Amrabat came in late with a bit of injury. We saw what's his name, the goalkeeper, Andre Onana came in late. So all these players had to use the season to acclimatize and fit into the team. And it takes time for players to fit in. Especially in the Premier League. It's extremely difficult. So I think the idea is for Ineos to get over and done with this transfer business as early as they can, so that the moment the players start the preseason, which starts the day after the Euro finals, the Euro final, we're full house and there are no more expectations. I think for me that's a good strategy. It shows you that Ineos, I think have seen the problem we've been suffering for a long time. That's why they're trying to move fast. And for me, that would be a big win for Manchester United. So that's where we are. But meaning with the central defense, Man United, if we sign the three players, Man United could be spending about 120 million pounds. And I'm assuming each player, again, on average, each player is 40 million pounds, because they are close to these players are close to the same amount. Whereas Everton were overpricing their Branthwaite, I still think we can get him for 40 million. So Todibo could be around close to the same. This Yoro boy could be close to the same. Now, do we have 120 million pounds to spend on just the central defense? If we do, we can get all of them. If we don't, spend 80 on Branthwaite, and Todibo. Let Liverpool or Real Madrid take Yoro. He's one for the future, but even these two are not old. They are young players. We can deal with those. Go to the holding midfield. Get a replacement for Casemiro. Go to the striking department. Get a backup striker. We'll talk about that one as well because, again, the stories are just emerging and evolving. I believe United might have a successful transfer window. And with this, my expectation is that just signing Branthwaite for me gives me the expectation that Man United is likely to sign at least 4 players in this summer. 4 players could be what we sign in this summer. Remember, Michael Olise as well. Now, with Michael Olise, Chelsea is in the lead. They seem to be in the lead, but he will give us a chance, an opportunity to speak to him as well. Then he will make his decision. So let's wait and see how it all goes. My name is Webb. This is the United on Sport. Day one of the transfer tracker, June 14th, 2024. Well, it's a marathon. Like, share, and subscribe because it's transfer talk unusual.